Welcome to Sports Overtime. We had a great time previewing the Panini Senior Bowl, gearing up for a big week of the game and practice, as well as huge games in college basketball. Here's the best of. So when Saturday rolls around and it's the American Team D-line, Huron Crawford, who we talked about a little bit earlier, Tim Keenan, who we talked about earlier, lining up against this national offensive line, that should be the matchup to watch, especially in the trenches.
You know, you talk about that offensive line, and they're going to have to protect Diego Pavia here this weekend. And we've been talking about Pavia as the week has rolled on. A lot was made about his official height measurement that came out on Monday. What has been your takeaway about his demeanor being here in Mobile and kind of how he's holding himself so far?
I think he has shown that he's exactly who he is. I mean, everything that we have seen from him, from the parts that people want to call good and the parts that people want to call not good, the kind of the abrasive, if you want to call it that, if you want to call it cocky, some people call it arrogant, whatever that thing is. And I think a lot of people don't understand at his size. I think that's part of the reason why he's successful, because every single time he has acted that way, he's shown, hey, look, I am that guy. And he's been proven right at every turn. He was proven right in JUCO. He was proven right in New Mexico State. He was proven right at Vanderbilt.
Right.
He's a Heisman Trophy finalist. So he just thinks, as long as I keep this exact same mindset, then he'll be good to go. So I think that he's carried that along with him this entire time. And we got a chance to hear from him just yesterday. Simone Eli went one-on-one. He did an interview, a national interview with either ESPN or NFL Network, and then on the way out of the stadium, Simone Eli caught up with him a one-on-one. You'll hear exactly what I'm talking about.
Day one, Senior Bowl practice in the books for you, Diego. How do you feel like today went?
I feel really good. You kind of get to see what some of these guys can do. It's like, oh, I should just throw it up every time. You know what I mean? But yeah, I had an amazing experience here today. That's why I'm here. You know, at the Panini Bowl. Super thankful for Drew bringing me here and inviting me here. And, you know, this opportunity is something that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
What do you hope to prove to scouts, coaches this week when you're out here?
That I'm the best player in the country. You get me, you're going to get someone who's a winner, a competitor, a leader, and someone who doesn't take no for an answer. What's
your offseason been like, just in terms of you wanting to get back on the field and to show people, hey, what you're all about?
I'm a grinder. That's all I've ever known my whole life. I tell this story a lot. Back home, there's not like Melky's been back home. It's not a lot there, you know what I mean, back in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And the way I would train is I tell my brother, hey, we're in the road, middle of the road, and he's going measuring out 20 yards with his feet. And I was like, all right, time me. And I'm running a 3.9, 20 yards. I'm like, dude, scoot your in, you know what I mean? I need 20 yards, you know, so, but that's just who I am.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we got to get off the field. I want to ask you, any interviews, meetings with teams, and what have you heard from so far?
Yeah, they put me on the board. They've heard my story. I told them my story just about my upbringing, just the sports that I played and things like that. And I hope, you know, I hope someone gets me, you know, and the team that gets me, I'm going to do everything I can in my willpower. I'll die for the team.
Cool. Diego, appreciate you, man. Best of luck this week, bro. Appreciate it.
For head coach Brent Venables over there, he had honestly one of the more impressive seasons this year of any coach. I know he didn't really do much as the season went on, but what he was able to do came into this season kind of on the hot seat. Some people thought that he would be coaching for his job coming into this season, but some people also took a look at the schedule and was like, okay, you know, we could be talking about the Red River rivalry coming up, and Oklahoma's undefeated, and Texas could be at 3-2. And what was it? Oklahoma undefeated, Texas 3-2. And what does Texas do? They go in and they beat Oklahoma for the first loss of the season. John Mateer, obviously a big factor in that game, ended up throwing 3 interceptions in his first game after thumb surgery. But our very own Simone Eli caught up with Brent Venables yesterday, talking all things Oklahoma football. Take a listen.
Here at the Senior Bowl with Oklahoma head coach Brent Venables. Coach, day one of practice. What did you see out of your guys, and how cool is it to have them here?
Yeah, just a lot of juice and energy. Yeah. It's really cool. You know, you start recruiting these guys when they're 16, 17 years old, and to be able to watch them here at the back end of their collegiate career, be able to chase their dreams. And one of them is Grayson Halton's birthday today, so we got to be some familiar faces to high-five him and celebrate this next part of their journey. It's a really cool moment in their lives.
Yeah, Coach, it's been a wild ride for you there at Oklahoma because you get put into the SEC. You guys are in the playoff. I mean, how have you just kind of seen your program transform since you took over a few years ago?
Yeah, no, it's been the SEC has helped elevate Oklahoma. And again, Oklahoma's a program that can stand on its own 2 feet programmatically, but to be able to align with the SEC and all of the, the venues and the, tradition and all of the success, the program is represented, the conference is represented rather, has helped us in every way to be able to get into the Southeast and recruit, even more deeply, and then again be able to bring the best out in our program and our players.
Yeah, Jim Nagy has meant a lot to this game. Obviously, a longtime executive director. Now you're general manager there at Oklahoma. What's your relationship like with him, and how has he kind of helped move your program forward as well? Yeah,
Jim and the rest of the front office staff, Taylor Redd and Lake Dawson and Stacy Ford, that group of people. They're first of all the depth of experience they've had in relation to the NFL, player evaluation, how to build a roster in the locker room. They brought so much experience and great wisdom, and they're amazing people to work with day in and day out. Very humble, because this isn't the NFL. This is still college football, and so they've rolled their sleeves up and have helped us, develop systems and programs in place that allow us to manage, again, college football with the NFL front office experience and expertise, and have been able to really help elevate, us and be more efficient in every possible way to be able to build a great roster.
Yeah, Coach, you've been so well respected for your defensive mind for so long. I got to ask you, you coached against Jackson Dart. I covered Jackson there now with the Giants in New York City. What do you see from his game, from a college game, and then kind of what he's been able to do as a young pro in a rookie season?
Just, the number one thing with Jackson is what a great leader he is. He's certainly got incredible talent, but his leadership ability, his ability to elevate everybody around him is very unique. Got great humility, tremendous, talent, but the guts and the toughness. He brings out the best in everybody, and we try to get him. We worked really hard to get him, and Lane did a great job beating us and getting him. But he's a fun guy to root for because he's just first class in every way. But for the people in New York, man, he's got the guts and the toughness that program is represented.
Coach, I appreciate it so much. Best of luck in Norman this season, sir.
Appreciate
it. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me on.
Sure.
There's been a few clips from yesterday's first practice, most notably the Michigan D lineman just bulldozing the Miami offensive lineman, but also looked like Kieran Crawford threw an in-state rival Alabama guy down. What was the atmosphere like when that happened, and is there that juice that everyone likes to talk about in the air right now?
Yeah, so that was in a one-on-one drill. You're talking about the Auburn-Alabama battle. And, of course, when those two helmets just get up in a one-on-one situation, everything ratchets it up anyways. And so all the guys knew it as well. But you're right, Keon Crawford, he came in, obviously people knew about his talent, but he was a bit overshadowed because Keltrick Falk was going to be a first-round pick, and he was obviously the main guy. But Crawford came in and obviously battling, going one-on-one with the Alabama offensive line. But what I found hilarious was the hype even started before that drill started. And so then once those two, locked horns, so to speak, it was a lot of fun. So it was great to see both teams, Alabama and Auburn. And we're seeing a lot of rivals here that are locking horns, but that matchup in particular was really good. And so I want to see how the defense responds today in the American practice. Same thing here with the offensive practice. But you mentioned that Iron Bowl rivalry. We got a chance to hear from those guys after that matchup and after practice.
It went pretty good. I just got to get more adjusted and get back into it. But I'm ready to dominate tomorrow. I'm ready to run through somebody and ready to show the NFL coaches what I'm really about. I got one word. It's more of opportunity. Just taking more of my opportunity and making the most of it is the biggest thing. I feel like the opportunity is something that's slim to none to many most, and a lot of people don't want to be in this position. So just making the most of opportunity is like the biggest thing. Jalen McLeod. I talked to him a lot this week and last week, just getting prepared on like what the meeting is going to be like, what the week is going to be like, and just how compact it's going to get. And you just got to be able to show your best, and being able to communicate and be yourself is like the biggest part of it.
Mr. Crawford there, basically, talking a little bit about his time here at the Senior Bowl, but also he mentioned yesterday that Jalen McLeod was one of the guys that really showed him the ropes from last year. Said, hey, this is what to expect when you're talking to the recruiters. This is what to expect when you're talking to the coaches and the scouts. So all these Auburn and Alabama guys, because there are so many that come year after year after year, you almost kind of get the answers to the test before you even get here to Mobile. And then, of course, there's a lot of Alabama and Auburn jerseys that are in the stands, and you see a lot of Auburn and Alabama fans that are in the stands there as well. Tim Keenan is another guy that's down here as well. Keenan's a guy that I think if you were to judge, I think maybe towards the end of last year, the beginning of this year, people thought he might have been able to play his way into the first round. He is here, but at the beginning of the season, remember, he suffered that ankle injury, so he was banged up at the beginning of the year. But now he's got a chance here to kind of redeem himself against the best of the best offensive linemen. I know that Alabama's O-line was kind of ballyhooed over the course of the regular season, but he's got a chance here to kind of prove it to the best of the best here, and we got a chance to hear from him yesterday as well.
Well, with NIL, things are out of our control, but Coach Roach, he's a great coach. You feel me? You talking to me right now, and I wasn't the player that I was when I first walked into Bama. So, I was able to stay there and develop. When you're there for 5 years, you're able to, go through ups and downs, you get the humility, and you're able to have that player development from your coach and from the university to understand the culture, to understand the play. So with NIL and transfers and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to, pour into a kid when you don't know if he's going to be there the next year or two. So the Coach Rose did a great job developing me.
Stay with us here on Sports Overtime, and remember, you can watch our show Southeast Sports Plus from 2 to 4 o'clock on the free WKRG Plus app. You can find us on your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV device.
We had seen this Arkansas team when things don't go their way earlier in the season. I mean, you talk about the Auburn game, things did not go their way at all, and they ended up getting rolled over. How impressive actually was this win, just being able to, you come in, three-point shooting is one of your strong suits, but you don't have it tonight, but you still found a way to get the job done.
Yeah, and I love just the tenacity they had in the paint, right?
Yeah.
Because that is something that we've criticized this team for at different points in the season. It's the play of the bigs, right? It's not the guard play. We know Darius Akov is good. We know Malik Thomas is good. We know DJ Wagner is good. They're fine, right? It's when you talk about those bigs. Trevin Brazil showing up consistently night after night. Malik Ewan showing up consistently night after night. Some of them was just a bad shooting night, right? You're going to have that.
Yeah,
you're going to have that sometimes. But that's not working for you. Arkansas showed that they can, we can combat that. We're going to beat you in a different way. And so to me, that was huge because I think Coach Cal was going to turn around and go, yes, that's what we need. That's how we're going to be competitive going down the stretch. That's how we're going to be competitive when we hit tournament time.
Yeah.
You can't just go in knowing this is what we do well. Okay. Teams watch the tape. They're going to be well ready for you at that point. And some of these teams that you're going to match up with in March, you've already faced this season.
Exactly.
You've already faced off with some of the best teams in the nation. So they know what you're going to do. This showed me Arkansas can win in a different way. And I think Coach Cal as well went, all right, that was really, really good to see.
Coach Cal, always good for a good soundbite whenever you need it. Let's take a listen to Coach and his team's three-point shooting from last night.
Well, I got a couple guys that are so good going to the rim, but they got that bag of tricks over here that they got to grab into and shoot contested threes. Like, why? When you go to the rim, you're either dunking it, grabbing, and one. Why would you do it? Well, that's part of me. I can really, now you're 0 for 4. You could have had 8 more points, maybe 9, 10, because they would have fouled you. They'll get it, but they got to keep sticking their hand on the stove and just say, come on, man. And one of the things I told them this week, and the guys that have played for me, we're coaching individual players to be their best. My staff adds value to individual players or they're not on my staff. Well, they'll say, well, you don't care about winning. Well, you probably haven't watched me coach or been in a practice. You can say that. Not true. But I do know my responsibility is to help every player be their best. I will not live with regrets. They might, because they won't listen. And they'll fight me till the end. Okay? You're going to look back and say, I should have just listened. Yeah, 80 guys get drafted and made $6 billion, 13 All-Stars and MVPs. But you do it your way.
Courtney, can I just, on the front end here, can I ask you that once this season is over, we just do an entire segment on reactions to most viral sound bites from Coach Calipari this year? Because, I mean, sticking your hand on the stove, getting into that bag of tricks over here. They don't want to take what's front of them. They got to dive into that bag of tricks and take the contested threes. I mean, if you want entertainment, he's right here for you. 10 to 15 minutes every game night.
Oh, always. He always has a good soundbite. And you didn't play it, but I do want to bring this up because it is going viral, where he talked about Kentucky and he talks about the season they were having, because that's Arkansas's next game. So somebody in the press conference asked about Kentucky coming up, and he said, look, it won't be as emotional as last year, right? That was emotional, right? Going back to Rupp Arena. I was there for that. It was crazy. That just was so insane, that game. I can't even describe what it was like to see that. But he commented on Kentucky's season, and he said, look, Mark Pope's doing a great job over there. Mark Pope's doing a great job, okay? If you're a Kentucky fan, you need and I'm paraphrasing here, but yeah, if you're a Kentucky fan, you should be happy with the job he's doing, right? And Kentucky fans got a hold of that. And they said, is he trolling us? Is he trolling us? Because we don't think Mark Pope is doing a good job right now. And I don't know if Calipari, again, I don't know. I can't comment on what he's looking at. I don't think he's looking at the scores of other games going into the press conference, but he might have taken a look at that score.
Stay with us here on Sports Overtime. And remember, you can watch our show, Southeast Sports Plus, from 2 to 4 o'clock on the free WKRG Plus app. You can find us on your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV device.
Let's turn our attention to this weekend's game because, it's just another game. There's definitely no meaning to this game by any means. It's definitely not John Calipari's second time going up against the Kentucky Wildcats. What has the emotion been in Lexington leading up to this game this weekend?
That's been a big question that everyone asked, but truly, like you said, it really is just another game. Wow. I do think that ship has sailed in terms of the emotion. I think, Cal, after that Oklahoma win, someone asked him, of course, about the game, and he said, it's just another game. And to be fair, last year he was walking into Rupp for the first time. His team was 1-6, and now he's walking in with the second best team in the SEC right now. So really, he has nothing to worry about. But I think ultimately, that the emotion in terms of Cal and him leaving, I think that is all sailed. And so I really do feel like both of these teams just go into it like it's another game. Yeah, it's Cal, but, we're going to win and do our thing. So I don't really think there's a whole lot of emotion in terms of last year.
You teed it up perfectly. Let's listen to Coach Cal.
I don't think so. But what I would say, it's the next game. And we're in a different position. We kind of flipped the switch. Like last year, we were like, what were we when we went to play them? And then we got them pretty good. But we were 1-6. Somebody said it was. I didn't care who it was. We needed to beat somebody. And now, the only significance of the game to me is we need to keep winning because let's stay pace with what's going on and people around us. And they're playing great. Mark Pope's doing a great job. He is. Look, for them to struggle and then him to get him going, he's the right guy for that job.
Coach Cal taking a little dig at Mark Pope there, saying, oh, yeah, he's doing a great job. Do you think that's just gamesmanship, or do you think he's being actually serious about it?
I think Cal's a solid dude. I really do think there was no jabs at that. And
no Lane Kiffinisms?
No, I don't think any Lane Kiffinism. And to be fair, if anyone knows how hard this job is here, it's Cal. So I think the sympathy coming from him has to be at an all-time high.
Got a prediction? Or do you, I can't remember, do you do predictions or no?
I told you guys I'm horrible at predictions, but I am
right.
predicting a Wildcats win. I think they will get it done against Arkansas.
On both fronts or just the...
Ooh, that was more so for the women's. The men's, I have no more predictions anymore. I think you'll just find yourself in a hole regardless of what you're predicting for them.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Sports Overtime tonight. Remember, you can watch our show, Southeast Sports Plus, Monday to Friday from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock on the free WKRG Plus app. You can find us on your Apple TV, Roku, or Fire TV device. Good night.